Morning, beloveds. So I had an interesting morning walk because I don't know, several months ago I needed something. I didn't know what I needed, and YouTube handed me a video, and I went, "Well, that's interesting." And from there, I went down. If you've ever gotten on YouTube and watched music videos, you know it's a rabbit hole. So I watched videos for several hours and went, wow. And so then after that, I've kind of been on this quest to collect some music from a couple of artists that I did for, oh, well, yeah, about three artists that I hadn't realized because they're not American artists. That I hadn't realized that they had, one, continued to produce music, and two, they were really good because they had, one, maybe two hits in the US. And so there's a little record store, music store, just right outside my neighborhood. And my husband has been going there because occasionally I'll say, "Hey, can you see if you can get if he can get this?" And so he'll go up there and ask. And there was a band called Aha, which, if you've heard, you would know the song "Take on Me." And I found out that the lead singer, one, they've released a great deal of music, and then two, the lead singer released some of his own music, and I was like, well, some of his music is pretty interesting, so go ahead and let's see if he can get any of that, because it's imported. He's Norwegian. And about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, he brought home an album that was not in English. I was like, all right then. Which it's because I listened to the Canadian tenors and I listened to Josh Groban, and both of them, and El Divo, and all of them sing in, other languages. So I'm totally cool with that. But this entire album is Norwegian, and what it is 10, I think, poems. Written by Norwegian poets in Norwegian and set to music. And then this, his name's Morten Harket, and he sings them set to music. And I have no idea what the poems are about. Well, that's not true. I did Google it, and it came up on Wikipedia, and they are about the story around the crucifixion. What each poem means, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think I read the titles in English, but I don't remember. And the music was beautiful, and his voice was beautiful, and it was just a really gorgeous album, and I have no idea what any of it was about. But it was really nice to get out there and listen to the birds sing and listen to this Norwegian poetry set to music, Norwegian religious poetry set to music, and it was gorgeous. And it's an experience that's worth having. I know a lot of people don't really enjoy listening to music where they don't understand the words, and I think they're missing out. I absolutely think they're missing out, especially when you get somebody whose voice is as gorgeous as his is. I mean, he could sing the phone book, and I'd probably listen to that, especially if he was doing it in another language. So, occasionally, both your mind and your soul need to rest, and music is a good way to do that. Music is a good way to do that. And today I chose to listen to religious poetry in a language I don't speak. And it was gorgeous. So that's what I did for myself, for my loving, kind, compassionate thing. I let my mind and my heart and my soul rest and listen to music that could touch me in a way that if I understood the words, it wouldn't. So try it. And if you're interested in that album, let me know and I'll tell you who it is. It was an import. So he paid $30 for 10 songs, but it was worth it. All right. It is July 2nd. Our title is I Express Divinity. And the Bible quote is from 2 Corinthians. So, we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory by the Spirit of the Lord. And that is 2 Corinthians 3:18. Beholding the image of perfection in everything, dominion is added to glory. This refers to the continual progression of the soul. Since God is infinite, our expansion is progressive and eternal. No matter how much good we experience today, the infinite has more in store for us tomorrow. We should look forward to this expansion with enthusiastic anticipation. The march of life is not a funeral dirge, but a song of triumph. Grateful for each success and each new advancement, I advance to new and greater revelations of truth, knowing that the spirit within me is free. I am no longer bound by the patterns of yesterday. Freedom is made manifest through my thoughts, in my words, and actions. The good that I experience today is going to be multiplied. No, the good I experienced yesterday is going to be multiplied today. I cast this good upon every wind of heaven, knowing that it goes out to bless. I condition my mind to accept greater good for myself and others. I wait calmly but with joy for a new experience to come to me, for new opportunities for service. I expect my mind to be flooded with new ideas. I know that the Spirit of the Lord is with me and that the glory of the Lord is around me. Okay. This month is going to be short. It's going to be short. But one of the ones that, it was one of the last couple of lines. I wait calmly but with joy for new experiences to come to me, for new opportunities for service. And that's one of the things. We just finished up Heartfelt Living on Tuesday. And in the one of the last, in the last chapter in the workbook, the last week in the workbook, they list sacred practices, spiritual practices, spiritual practices, and they go through them. Sacred reading, sacred study, silence, meditation, centering, treatment, and one of them is sacred service, sacred giving, and sacred service. And it's documented. I mean, you can go and read the research. But when you feel less than optimal, especially emotionally, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is to go and serve others, to go and volunteer. And it can be, little things, like going to a shelter and walking dogs, or reading to children or reading to the elderly, going and volunteering in soup kitchens, little things like that. Just things, and there are probably things like picking up trash in the park, but where you are serving others, where you are benefiting others. And it has a way of taking, one, it takes the emphasis off of you because you are serving another. Two, it feels good. It feels good to do something for another. And it feels good in a way that is different than when we do things for ourselves. Because every day I ask you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Because you deserve your own kindness and compassion. But when you serve others, it brings up a feeling, probably it's that connection and it's that unity. And it's on a level that's not necessarily conscious when we serve others, unless we are being conscious of it. But it's that unity of, I recognize in you me. I recognize in me you. I see you. And I do this to make both our lives better. I don't do this just for you. I do it for me too. And it takes, it gives you something, especially in those times when you need that. To live that life of service, I mean, that's why ministers do it. Ministers do live that life of service because it's that subconscious recognition of the unity. It's that subconscious, how can I make the world a better place for everyone? And this is one of the ways that I can do it. And everybody can have a piece of that just by doing simple things like that. And it's particularly good when you're hurting, from whatever it is that, you might be hurting from, to do sacred service and to support someone else, and not to expect anything back from it, except you will always walk out of a situation like that feeling better, and most likely galvanized to find other ways to serve. So just a warning there. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay, so I expressed divinity. That's our title. And the Bible quote, okay, we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord. Translations are interesting, so it makes me wonder if the glass is a mirror. And are changed into the same image from glory to glory by the Spirit of the Lord. We grow. When we look into our own face, we are seeing God looking back at us. And we grow and change. And the more we enter into that service, that sacred service, that glory can't help but to become new and different. And I dare to say better. When we serve each other, we are truly glorifying the Spirit that made us. Beholding the image of perfection in everything. Remember, perfection means wholeness. So, beholding the image of wholeness in everything. Dominion is added to glory. Everything belongs. This refers to the continual progression of the soul. The continual progression. The soul continues to expand and grow. And why would it not? Because it, and he's about to say, it comes from an infinite source. Since God is infinite, our expansion is progressive and eternal. That means that whatever is going on now, it's not all there is. There's more to go. There's more to grow. That who we are now, that kernel of who we are, will always be there. But we are allowed to and encouraged to, and to some degree expected to grow and change. To grow and change. And I think that in times like this, that gives me great comfort. Because I know that my Aunt Mary is on to her next evolution. She's on to her next growth. She's on to her next progression. The body that she wore for so many years was no longer necessary to her. We'll miss her. Oh, we will miss her. But she's on to it. And so while I am sad for me because she's gone, and I'm sad for my family that she's gone, I'm happy for her because she's on to her next progression. I did warn you that what's going on in your life will affect your reading, so heads up. All right, let's see. No matter how much good we experience today, The infinite has more in store for us tomorrow. And we should look for it. Which is exactly the next line. We should look forward to this expansion with enthusiastic anticipation. The march of life is not a funeral dirge. I know I made a face the first time I read that, but you know why. But a song of triumph. Grateful for each success and each new advancement. Grateful. We're always grateful. We're always grateful. Sometimes it's hard to be grateful when things change, but, and in the moment, we're allowed to go, and then as we walk through it, then the gratitude will naturally well up because we will start to see. And if we don't start to see, we need to start looking for. I advance to new and greater revelations of truth, knowing that the spirit within me is free. I am no longer bound by the patterns of yesterday. Principle is not bound by precedent. So just because it's been happening this way does not mean it needs to continue that way. You are at choice. You can change. We are always at choice. Even if sometimes the only choice we have is how we feel about a situation. And therein, we make that first choice and the dominoes start to fall. And then it has no choice but to change around us. Freedom is made manifest through my thoughts, in my words, and actions. And that's where it starts, right here. The good I experienced yesterday is going to be multiplied today. I cast this good upon every wind of heaven, knowing that it goes out to bless. Who does it go out to bless? Absolutely everyone. Absolutely everyone. It goes out to bless everyone. That's what the winds of heaven do. They touch everyone, everywhere. There is nowhere that the winds of heaven cannot get. Because there's nowhere God is not. I condition my mind to accept greater good for myself and others. I condition my mind to accept greater good for myself and others. I condition my mind to think well, to think good, to see good, to bless everyone that crosses my path. Whether I have a good interaction with them or not, because that's going to happen. We're going to have people who cross our path and they have forgotten who they are momentarily. We have forgotten who we are, and the interaction isn't so great. But after the fact, I can bless them. And in fact, if I bless them before they get to me, because occasionally we anticipate interactions with people, and we aren't so sure that they're going to go so good. Bless them before they happen. Bless them before they happen. Bless them as the child of God that they are. Bless yourself as the child of God you are. And bless the interaction. And see if that doesn't change. I wait calmly but with joy for new experiences to come to me, for new opportunities for service. I expect my mind to be flooded with new ideas. We have access to an infinite source of ideas. It merely requires us to be open and accepting. I know that the Spirit of the Lord is with me and that the glory of the Lord is around me. So our mission today, should we choose to accept it, and I'm sure you heard it, our mission is to condition our minds to accept greater good for ourselves and others. Ourselves and others. That is the mission. And that is the mission every day. I say that a lot. Because in the long run, whatever mission it is that we have today goes back to the root cause of knowing who we are. Knowing who we are, knowing who everyone else is, to recognizing God around us, to recognizing the Spirit around us, to recognizing the principle that we work within. It comes back to knowing who we are. Divine sparks, having a material experience. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day. It is Friday. I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it is, whatever it is. You heard what I chose for myself today. And that that music is beautiful. And I like not knowing what he's talking about. I like not having that mental analyzing the words. I love just being able to listen. Oh, all right. So I don't know that there's anything outside of Reverend David being on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. But as always, you can always email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the mailing list. And then you can see whatever else is going on. It's a new month. We should have a new theme and all that. And Sunday service is going to be interesting and good. I had a large hand in it, so please join us for that on Sunday. And tomorrow's Saturday, so I get to go to the park. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to have fun with the squirrels, and I hope the blue jays show up because they didn't last week. But it is. I really just need to go. But I am going to remind you that you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. This is the state of grace that we live in. So please open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now. All right? It takes us being willing to be open and conscious to see it. We've got to look for it. And when we look for it, we find it. When we find it, it multiplies. So, drink plenty of water. Stay cool. We're going to get a day off from the rain today. But stay cool. And if you get up and go get that face full of sun first thing in the morning, it'll set your hormones on the right track. All right, beloveds? Do what you need to do to make it a good day, a great day, a wonderful day, a fantastic day. Whatever level you are prepared to deal with, have that kind of day. And if none of that is appealing and you just need to have a day, that's okay too. All right? Know that you're loved, and I'll see you tomorrow.